purpose is a way of giving reason to the pain you feel. I might not choose where I'm born, but I'm responsible for where I'm ending. My kids must do way better than I did without them having been exposed to what I've been exposed to. Because you want to get to the point where you can build a system that can actually be used by somebody else. We're not poor or successful because of somebody outside ourselves. Being productive and industrious is something that is expected of us. Hoping to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living keeps you
Welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. I am super excited to do another episode with the guy, with the most watched guy on Mindset Profits. I don't know how long I'll introduce you like this.
Yeah, at some point it will wear out.
But we are going to have the kind of discussion we have never had before. Because I did one thing I had never done before. I asked AI about him. And man, AI dug up some serious sauce. I did not know that there's an element of homelessness to where he is now, multiple properties that he owns and manages. I knew about SARS, that you're a taxman who learned about the game inside the system. But I also didn't know that it's the loss of your sister that began this journey for you.
Sure, yeah. This AI business, I'm telling you.
AI dug you up,
It's
man.
going to put people's laundries out there in the streets.
But we're going to do a deep discussion about wealth creation, legacy wealth creation, building African wealth that lasts beyond our generation.
Sure.
I think we can use the Bible version to say wealth for your children's children.
Yeah.
And I think you have context based on where you started from, but I'll ask you a tough question.
Yeah.
Up front.
Yeah.
One I am pretty sure you've never been asked before.
Okay. I'm getting nervous. Yeah, let's go.
If your child's child, your great-grandchild, finds this video 60 years later,
Sure.
and you're not there, and they never grew in poverty because of the wealth that you built, what do you want to tell them?
Gee whiz. Learn to not to just make the circle bigger, but do the same for the next generation. Raise them with a sense of responsibility, not of just privilege. For sure, you would have done them a favor by making sure that when they're born, they don't start to where I started. Because I think the start with the opposition I had, it doesn't guarantee the same outcome for everyone.
Was it that bad?
Yo. Actually, I recently shot a video and I posted it on Facebook and and Instagram and the other places. And I was remembering, and maybe I can actually share just a little bit on that. In one year, I was staying in a place called New Brighton in PE. Ekamlana is the name of the street. Now, PE people know that that's a New Brighton street. And we were given a place to stay with my mom. So I was staying in this room, and I was explaining how the bed was. You know, the bed, the make of the bed, it was just the frame. And I'm talking about those beds where there was an iron frame and you had that mattress that had springs in it. Okay. Do you know that? And the I mean, when that thing wears out, those springs will poke you. Exactly. So it was just the frame. I don't know where we got the bed, but it was just the frame, and we had 4 bricks in the 4 corners of the bed, and that mattress. And this one time, I had friends that came, and somehow I woke up late on this day. My mom let them into the room. I was embarrassed because they could see the bed I was sleeping in. But the one thing that I remember...
How old were you?
Gee whiz, man. I was in my matric. I was 17. Yeah. So that means at least I had some age to myself in that I was aware And I mean, remember, at that time, you're cautious of your image to your friends and the people around and all of that. So, but I had dreams about the future, man. So that's why I said sometimes we have big dreams in bed beds.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Let's start with your name.
Yeah.
AI tells me your mom gave you a name that practically unleashed your purpose.
Sure. Yeah. It was very prophetic. My name, the meaning of my name. So my full name is Mandilakhe Ikai, right? So it means let me build my home.
Even Ikai is there.
Yeah. It's just that I can't write that whole name in an ID or anything like that.
Also, in the ID, you removed the,
Yeah. So
because,
it's just
geez, I'm trying to picture you in, in kindergarten when they say we're learning how to write our names.
my name is a sentence actually.
It
Yeah.
must have been an interesting
I'm telling you
experience.
exactly. Yeah. So
Mandilakhe Ikai.
Ikaya.
Let me build my home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So firstly, you must remember now, my mother didn't have a house of her own. So when we were born, it goes back now. When I was born, my mother had my sister who was 11 years older than me. Now, she's already moving around because of she doesn't have a home. Then she gets me. And then she profoundly calls me Mandilakhe Ikai. I don't know what was happening in her heart and mind, but however, then I can deduce to the fact that she was a dreamer one way or another. So
You never got to ask her.
No, I did. I think at some point I did. One, she liked the name. I don't know where. I think she heard it somewhere, and she loved it. And then she gave it to me. I think also with the keen interest of the fact that may this boy build our home.
Wow.
It might not have been just literally a house of brick and mortar. It might have been build the legacy of this home.
Man, that's power, eh? And
Yeah.
you're doing it now.
Interesting enough.
How do you reflect on the journey, though, between that time and now?
I think it's interesting because, as I'm saying, I think if we don't believe in prophecies as people, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think I'm a living witness that you can speak things into being, believe it or not, at this particular point, and not just this hogwash of just believing in because of my mother was never a Christian. But it's interesting that when she gave me a name that I got called by, and I don't even know when it registered in my mind that I need to build. But building has always been something that was part of me.
Yeah.
From a young age, I promise you. As I'm saying, I think I've always had the sense of I'm going to change my family situation. Nobody, I mean, at 5.
No one told you
No
nothing.
one told me, but I think I didn't like how I felt in the situation we found ourselves in.
Man, I listen to that and think I must have been a loser. I had none of that. You guys hit me with those things, and I think, dude, Mina, I was just one day at a time. Guys, where are we playing today?
No, and trust me, I was playing in between. I tell people don't believe. I played soccer. I was a captain of my soccer team from like under 12 to like I played A team when I was 16, 17. So I did play in between. However, in me, and this is where because I mean at some point I was having a chat with some of the guys I grew up with in PE. There's a place called Zakele, called Enjoli. Now that was notorious for serious criminals. For that matter, most of the guys I grew up with, they're no longer around now because of crime.
Because of that.
Yeah, that was a place that was, it's almost designed to make sure you don't go anywhere.
How did you survive it?
That's
because
exactly.
you could have been absorbed.
That's exactly sense of purpose, because somehow in my mind I could see where I was going. Maybe let me share this dream as well.
Yeah.
Now this is a literal dream, not me dreaming awake, not me visualizing. This was a dream I had whilst we were living in a shack one time with my sister.
And you lived in a shack? See,
Gee whiz.
AI didn't pick this one up.
Listen, I lived in a shack, I lived in shacks until well into my high school years.
Whoa.
The life of a shack is what I know. I will build you a good shack. You give me a hammer and some nails and some wood and I'll build you something. Listen, because of in a shack, you learn to work with your hands. Actually, I still have some marks on my hands. If you
From
see, I've
that
got some
life.
cons. Yeah, because we used to carry water. So I haven't told you my story clearly. I need to tell you my
No,
story.
you haven't,
A4.
because
Yeah.
we always talk tech strategy, finance, and stuff. We
No.
start from the top.
Yeah. So we scratch the surface. Listen, I used to carry water at probably 75 liters using a wheelbarrow. We would walk like, I'm sure that was more
This
than
is water to bath and to
water to bath,
laundry.
eat, cook, everything. Because remember, in a shack there is no
no
plumbing
water
system.
supply.
No. So because of some of the places we would be the first to be there, so you'd have to chop down trees in order for you to clear the field so that you can build there. Come from that. So
I don't know if I should feel sorry for you. I feel inspired.
No. Feel inspired. Because I think one of the things that I found out, purpose is a way of giving reason to the pain you feel.
Oh,
I hope that makes sense.
it landed.
When Joseph says to his brothers, later on, when he's in Egypt and now he is the prime minister, he says, what you meant for evil, God turned it around for good. And he says, it was not you that sent me to Egypt. Because of, when you haven't found reason
Purpose.
for your pain, you blame everybody else.
So that's what you mean, but
That's exactly.
meaning to your pain.
Exactly. Then when you get to you're like, because probably Joseph would not have willingly just gone to Egypt if it was a negotiation kind of setup.
Yeah, if it was offered, do you want to
Do
go
you want exactly?
to Egypt or stay at home?
Right now, like in the last video, we said this future does not exist
If you don't start.
didn't take the decision years ago. Same thing. I'm not here without that pain.
Oh, man.
Because I know now that one of the things I think I have a proclivity towards is laziness when my life is comfortable.
Oh, you've seen that in yourself.
I've seen that.
Actually, I've seen that in myself too.
Do you get my point? So then I look back. Firstly, I don't regret that I went through the things and I don't even blame God because of initially, when you're growing up and you're just trying to have a pity party and you're thinking, why me? And maybe you start thinking that maybe these parents are not my real parents. My real parents someday will come, and fetch me. They reach somewhere. It's just that they trying to make me learn how to be humble. You keep looking, I don't know, to the ends of the world to see will there be someone coming. Yeah.
Man, you're not the first one who stayed in shacks and has made something significant with their lives. I think Uteboko as well is another. I always listen. I listen to you guys and I wonder, what did that life build in you to make you this guy?
Sure. I think some of the things that I recognize to be the contribution of that upbringing. Firstly, the fact that I am not doing what I'm doing because I'm trying to get somebody to like me. You meet people along the way. The interesting thing about some level of success is that you meet people who are seemingly having a similar kind of success with you.
Yeah.
And they misconstrue why you do things because they thinking you competing or whatever the case is. No, let's not get these things twisted. Whether you're here or not, I do this thing. Whatever I'm doing is because I have seen where I'm going. It's in pursuit of that. So that's despite distractions, despite the people that come and go. So you kind of have this life then that's continuous in a particular path despite who's around.
Okay.
Do you get that? Because of,
So the vision is clear and you'll work on it no matter what, no matter who.
And that right there describes the fact that I could do something for 5 years that maybe somebody else gave up on in the first year. And they wondering, you're still doing this? Like, yeah.
It will work one day.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's necessary. Because and maybe just I'm ending some points now because of this is actually just to describe the aspect of the clarity of the vision. So I'm in matric, as I'm saying. We're staying in this house I'm talking about. And I say to my mom, I want to go to university. And I've described the situation for you. And now I need an application fee, not registration fee. And an
Just the
application fee.
application.
That's like, I think it was 100 and something at the time. And my mom was like, firstly, I don't think my mom just casually said I don't have it because, it was a matter of her not having the money. But I think she actually just did not see the reason why I'm even considering going to university looking at my situation.
It's for other children.
She asked me, she said, other kids your age and whatever are working right now. I'm saying, who? And she talked about people in some
She could name them.
cashiers and all of those. I'm like, my dream and my vision needs me to go to university. She said, where are you going to get the money? I said, we'll see. I went to work at a church for 2 full weeks, walking almost 10 to 20 kilometers
Oh, man.
to get $400 at the end of that 2 weeks. And I went to apply. I got into varsity, dude. Later, I applied late because of, firstly, all these things to me. I'm talking about the clarity of the vision. I went there,
And
I
the
applied.
willingness to work.
Yeah. I went to varsity not because it was something that was within my reach. No. University was never meant to be something that if ever I looked at my circumstances and the system and whatever, I shouldn't have been one of the people that went to university.
Or sitting in that chair.
Now, that's the cherry on top. Me sitting in this chair.
Man. All right. So back to the question I asked
Yeah.
you at first. To your great grandchild. Because there's a debate that I'm not winning in my mind. I'm failing to reconcile this. I feel when you look at the path that you walked, there's gifts that the pain and part of the poverty taught you that are hard to teach when a child grows up comfortable.
Yeah.
How do we teach the same level of resourcefulness to a child that grew up in comfort? You get me?
I get you. And I think the mistake we make there, I'm going to start with the mistake so that I can answer you. The mistake that we make there is to think I need to get my child to experience what I experienced in order for them to think like I do. Do you get my point?
I get you.
Because someone says, this child is born into money, so they will never know responsibility because they've never had hardship. No, it's not the hardship that they don't have to be exposed to the same hardship I did. Otherwise, we are going to glorify the circumstances I come from as necessary for everyone before they succeed, which is not true. No, there are people who have never seen
Poverty.
a percent of what I've gone through and their lives are way better. That means there's another formula then at work. So what I need to find out is, what do privileged kids who succeed get exposed to in order for them to think responsibly?
Hey, you bring the fire today.
Do you get my point?
It reminds me of a friend of mine who knocks.
Yeah.
One who helped me start this podcast. There's a day that she wanted to Uber her kids somewhere and she was debating and saying, no, I'm not going to. Actually, no. She wanted to drive them to a mall. Big kids in their 20s. And I was saying, why are you stopping work to drive like kids in their 20s to a mall? They can just Uber. No, kids don't use those things. It's not safe.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, I started with the whole lesson on teaching them and stuff. Sometimes a bit of hardship can teach kids and stuff. Says, Kanwena, why are you so obsessed with me training my kids how to be poor?
Yeah.
They will never be poor. that was the fastest statement to shut me up. I was like, whoa, okay.
True.
And it hit me because I realized actually there are kids who will never be poor.
No. And we have to be clear on that, because we are now pushing this wrong narrative that says it's mostly, I think it's us black people most of the time. I can go as far as being comfortable in saying that, because it is within our environments where we then look at the bright sparks. Because I mean, also our country kind of informs that we come from struggle. Nelson Mandela had to go to jail. Yeah.
Now all of us must feel
Do
it.
you get my point? But then you look at everybody else who went through that same system, and you look at their responsibility towards economic resources now. Some of them are good at struggle liberation, but they're not good at economic transformation. Do you get my point? Now, we can't have kids that are going to repeat what we've done, and yet we think they're going to achieve better than we've actually achieved. That's why grandpa becomes the hero in the home, because grandpa has been the one that actually did a great job, but then the kids did not take after grandpa to say, where grandpa left off, how do I improve?
up the pattern.
Exactly. The next generation must look as, now, my kids must do way better than I did without them having been exposed to what I've been exposed to. Now, that means I need, between now and the time I'm not around, and when they're older, I need to figure out what systems do I introduce them to so that they can do exactly what I'm saying. They can't suffer the same things they can't suffer from identity crisis, lack of resources, lack of access, all of these things. They can't struggle for employment and all. No, employment should be the last thing in this generation, in my family, that should be marking some source of income. When you apply for like bonds and all of that, they ask you what's your source of income.
Yeah.
Then you most of the time would say salary or employment. No, it should
Should be let me list my investments.
there we go. Me and my wife should be the last people to say in my family, salary is our source of income.
How did the homelessness come into the picture? And what did that teach you?
Sure. So I think it actually was handed over, or it actually came through my mother's experience. So my mother probably is the one who kind of became, I'm not blaming her per se, because I also got to learn about her life.
Okay.
Our grandfather failed her because she had a tough upbringing.
Okay.
Long and short, grandfather.
got it.
Yeah, grandfather also got her to be married to her older friend at one point. She was 14 at the time. Ooh. As a second wife or whatever. Then she had to run from home. Her mother, I think in PE, I don't think she was very, very well established and whatever. But I'm getting that she had she had a hectic life. Now she had to survive. Now, you can see then why she wouldn't have the resources to be able to build something that she could actually give over to us.
Tough start.
Exactly.
In life.
Now she has to then find ways to survive, and she's got kids. And life goes on. Here's the thing. This is what I always say to people. Life waits for no one. Can you imagine that this person is going through all of these things, and yet at the same time she has to have life. She has to have kids in the process, and all of bills are there. And so she leaves us at some point in PE. She leaves me with my sister. My sister is 14. I'm 3 years old. She comes to Joburg to work so that she can actually provide for us. Now, there's a crack that you're actually opening there. You're leaving kids. There's just exposure there to all sorts of risk. 14-year-old is a kid. A kid with a kid who's 3 years old. I mean, my child is 5 right now. I mean, you can see her. Yeah. Yesterday, I told you, I actually had to go to the hospital with him.
To attend to
Imagine my sister having to deal with such things. I'm 41 now, trying to figure out. She was 14. Yeah, that's a twist, actually. She was 14, I'm 41.
I hadn't picked it.
Yeah.
So that's how you were left staying with relatives. How did you process that time? Did that not almost break you though?
Listen, I think if ever I took identity from that. It would knock on your, it would chip away on your confidence over time. But I think,
When you feel you don't belong.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Firstly, people make you feel you don't belong because there's,
Your mom is not here.
yes,
We are taking care of you,
and
but we don't want you here.
and let alone on that, as people, we have this primitive sense of superiority that serves us as some kind of accomplishment at times. If I have things and you don't, and I want to feel better or feel good about myself, I'm going to make you feel that you don't have and I do have.
Let's rehash this one because this is a deep one. I think it's a pain I've had as well
Yeah.
in part of my background. And I've seen it where in black families, we're black so we can see
Yeah.
stuff like this. In black families, there's always the rich families and the ones that do not have the means. So what you're describing is a scenario where the ones that have the money
Yeah.
feel better by showing the ones that don't that they don't have the money.
And you must bag so that I feel elevated than you. And can I take this a little further?
Yeah, no,
You
go
know,
deep.
and I've seen this when I was playing soccer. Kids with more skill would normally not have proper soccer anything. Soccer kit,
Boots
or the
and-
boots and, but the kid that's coming from money would have a full-on suit for soccer, from new soccer boots to everything. Oh, and you would be like, I wish I could take that boy's soccer boots and whatever he's wearing
them
and give them to this one who has the skill. And life has a way of showing that. That the kids that finally make it, dude, if I had to take you back to all the houses where I stayed and they gave me space. And listen, and this is not even right now. I can look back and talk about it because of, you actually look back and you're like, I can't believe I survived that. I can't believe it. Because I'm a child. And in the houses I would be in, there would be kids my age. But the way they would be treated would be different from me. And the interesting thing is how you as a child register that, but it does not block your life or it does not stop you from living. But you can take certain hits from it and later you reflect on them. Like now, I look back, there were kids every Christmas, they would be bought new clothes and everything. And I'm here, right?
And you're watching
I'm watching.
and you get nothing.
Because you can't afford this. And these things, I would right now look back and I'm the one who has the prerogative to say, it's for me to say they matter or not. You can't say, I know those things don't matter. No, they do. I'm a child at that point. Because other kids look at the same things and they go and steal just to be on the same level. Do you get my
What
point?
did you do?
Somehow it made me focus more. I loved school, actually, I must say, I loved school from a young age. Then later on, when I was about to leave varsity, I think I started loving speaking and all of that. And the speaking thing took me took me all the way.
Different places.
Exactly so. And that then I had to balance at some point because I was like, I am too much loving this. Because if ever I would be given an opportunity to MC, speak, or do anything, that's why I told you I
drop
preached
the
in
books.
I preached in funerals at a very young age. And all. I'd drop the books and go and do that thing.
So that treatment made you focus more on the vision and on your school because you believe this is my only way out. This is all I have to work with.
Correct. Because I think in my mind, whenever I would feel that pain, because pain was there, it would be to actually look at what are the things that I can use to change this circumstance.
Do you ever think you could have picked up scars, emotional scars that need you to see a therapist?
Oh yeah, no, I see therapists. You must,
you've gone already.
Yeah, no. Listen, and we've always thought it maybe, and I always like leveling things, or kind of laying foundation.
Yeah.
I do go to therapy even now with my wife, just for us to actually just keep talking, because at times she knows, my wife knows, I'm very reflective, and when we started, I said to her, I don't think my upbringing was normal. Therefore, I don't want to take things for granted. And I'm not I'm not depressed or anything. I'm not taking anything. But it's just that thing of go and sit and have someone who's independent from your wife, because your wife might not be able to say to you,
Yeah.
hey,
Fix this,
yes,
do
this
this,
behavior of
wash
yours is
this.
not. Yes. You go to someone who does not have it to like you in order for them to tell you whatever that they're telling you. Just for you to actually get that.
So your take was you could see that I could be carrying some stuff that I'm not aware of. I don't want to dump it on you guys.
Correct.
So let's get wow, man, that's some deep stuff.
No, because of it, and it's good. And oh yeah, and I'm gonna go just on this thing of therapists, because I've always believed in this statement where they say only a living salmon swims against the stream, right? And that actually carried me, because we are growing up with a lot of um, what do they call these general beliefs? You've got this, like when they say men don't cry.
Yeah.
There are those stereotypes. Yes, it's
Limiting
a
beliefs.
stereotype. Yes, yeah. It's a stereotype. It's a propaganda most of the time, because when you dig deep to find out where does this thing come from, it's the same thing that they do now. Men shouldn't go and see therapists, otherwise you are weak. Exactly. And you look at the man who's saying that, and you can see that he's only a chauvinist, and that's the only thing. He's got brain, he's got
The one
brawn,
that
and there's
needs
no
it the
brain.
most.
Exactly. Do you get my point? So those things, even growing up, then I always tried to push against those things. I was speaking to a guy I went to high school with recently. Not to over labor this thing, but this guy was calling me because he wanted to consult because he runs a business. Now in high school, you had an option of either going into finance or go into drawing or motor mechanics or whatever. Now guys at school used to say, and you would have that choice at about standard 8, that's your grade 10. Then guys would be like, if you go to finance, you are soft. Then if you go to into motor mechanics and all these other things, yeah, then you're a real strong man.
Yeah, man.
And I never found any sense in that. So now he says, hey, I see you that you actually didn't subscribe to those things you were saying in high school, and
now we
now
see you on
exactly,
TV.
and it's like now we need actually the things that you went into that we thought were soft, because he says my business needs what you're actually doing.
And this is someone who followed that advice. It's sad because there are people who went on a wrong path because of advice they took from someone they believed in. And I think what's even more sad is those people discover those things late in their 30s but feel I've invested so much time into this, I can't change. I can't dump the investment I've put into this for the past 15 years and start over, when it might actually be the way.
And do you know that? Yeah, because of so the guy's name is Tom Butler Bowden, I think. Yeah, I've referred to this book in the previous episode. The name of the book, it's never too late to be great. Talks exactly to what you're saying. The strength of a man should not be measured by his muscles externally now. Should be measured by his mental capacity. What you're saying, it takes strength for you to not fight anything that's seen, but to fight the unseen, because you are looking at the better outcome, not for now, for later. This guy talks about some of the contributing factors for people that live up to 90 and 100. Do you know some of the contributors are one, learning a new thing
Okay?
every day.
Is it?
Yeah. Most people that have actually lived long, they changed careers at about 40, went into a new thing, then they actually just found something new, exciting. Because we are people who are looking for comfort. And we don't know that with comfort comes a whole lot of things. Most of the people that have Alzheimer's and all of these other diseases at an old age, it's inactivity. You know why? Because people were looking forward to the day they're not doing anything. And not doing anything at an old age is bad for you. So
Actually, at any age.
at any age, there we go. Because inactivity is not a goal. It shouldn't be anyone's goal.
And with AI, you literally can learn new skills every day.
There we go. So that's why then I'm saying So those who say if you identify at 30, 40, I mean, Colonel Saunders,
The
564,
65. Mm.
and he started KFC. Look at how long he lived. I
I
think
have
he went
another
to.
one, assistant at 50.
Yeah, I saw the lady. Yes.
Ah, she's a force, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at your story, man, and I see two directions for people.
Sure.
There are people who go through what you went through, come out, succeed, but succeed at a level of survival mode.
Yeah.
What drives them is the idea that I never want to be poor again. So they are good at making money. They've grown in their careers. They're good probably even at managing, especially saving the money. But because they are driven by survival mode, they never really invest to build and multiply and create legacy wealth. They just want to survive and driven to be secure. And there's the other type, your type, who goes through this but go beyond survival mode and think about the next generation and think I'm the last person who ever needs a salary.
Yeah.
If the next generation works and earns a salary, it's because maybe it's a job or a career they are passionate about, but
Yeah.
not because they have to.
Yeah.
What's the difference between these two?
I think it's, I'm thinking about it now that you're saying. In Maslow's hierarchy, there's the step over and above self-actualization. Which
There's something above. I thought that was the highest.
Yeah, that's what, because of there's transcendence.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Now, yeah, so we're tapping on another one now. So there's transcendence. Because after self-actualization, exactly the stage that some people end there, but then you don't focus on legacy when you actually end there. Because you're happy that you made it.
And we are secure.
And you're secure.
And the life covers are there. The kids are safe.
Then you grow a belly and then you actually just, then you sit next to the beach and that's it.
So the difference is you're saying the definition of enough.
Yes. Is very critical.
My self-actualization and yours are different.
Yes.
And then there's a level above actualization.
Which means now I then multiply myself. Because after me or outside of me, there's someone else who is in a similar situation, similar giftings, similar everything. And I can actually use this because you want to get to the point where you can build a system that can actually be used by somebody else. We don't have to all go through the same thing and take as long as Mandilakhe took in order to get out of the situation. So that's transcendence. We go to the Bible now.
Systems that will pay
Exactly.
without you being there.
Jesus is here 33 years. We take it there. He's here
To build a system that's still working right now.
Exactly. He has 12 guys, takes over the world. That's transcendent.
The preacher in you came out.
Exactly.
Give me a principle in the Bible. I know you already dropped on a principle in the Bible that speaks to you when it comes to building for legacy.
Sure, man. Principle. It's actually,
Or a teaching.
yeah, there's a lot of them. I think so because of, maybe let me put it this way. So there are the whole Bible is still driving home the same point. Firstly, it's the assurance of the continuity and the perpetuity of who we really are, which is the spirit man, right? You want to make sure that is sorted, because over and above this whole thing that I'm building right now, tomorrow this thing can be gone. But there's that one thing of me that I must make sure that it is guaranteed all the way. That's what the man on the cross was worried about. Remember me when you're in paradise. He was dealing with that real person, because that's the first part where we need to make sure that we are taken care of. So Jesus comes and he makes sure that he fixes that, but it's my option to make sure I partake of that freedom that's already made available, right? So that was the first thing. Then the second thing then becomes my ability to understand the laws of nature. that actually make this life work. Now, we're not poor or successful because of somebody outside ourselves if we stop blaming everybody else. When I have an introspection and a real thing, I might not choose where I'm born. And I'm happy that I can say this because at least we've laid the foundation of where I come from. I might not choose where I'm born, but I'm responsible for where I'm ending despite the situation I was born into.
Yeah.
So that means I then have to fix or deal with the physical world I'm born into. It's my responsibility, it's your responsibility to understand what are the laws of nature that makes one successful in this physical world we're living in, and what are the laws of nature that makes someone a failure. Bible tells us here now and again, people are given talents, and you will be judged by how well you multiply those talents. All of them are given talents. No further instruction after that. You use your skill to either multiply or be dormant. So being productive and industrious is something that is expected of us. That's why then I have a problem then with people that are going to misconstrue someone's ability to grow resources that they are entrusted with as greedy. No, not everyone who's prospering is greedy. No, they're excelling at being
A good steward.
stewards. Yes, at stewardship. So you can't now give yourself a free pass when you see someone who is prospering and call themselves a believer. They are greedy. No. You might be lazy actually. Yeah. Okay, that's a punch right there.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Then today you bring the fun, you bring the English, the words, some of the words that you've been dropping. I thought I'd remind you. I think you started with proclamities.
Ah.
I said, okay, we're here today.
We're not playing today.
We are not playing.
Yeah.
All right, so I think let's cap with this.
Yeah.
The launch into your financial journey, this financial field,
Sure.
you attribute it to your sister.
Sure.
How so?
So my sister, so listen, this started in high school. It's good you actually touched on that. So I'm going to high school. So how this worked, where I come from.
Yeah.
There's primary, then primary was sub A, I'm coming from that time. Sub A to standard 2, so that's your grade 1 to grade 4. Then when you get to standard 2, then you have to change schools. So we were feeded school to another school called Hendringinza in George. So I did my standard 3, 4, 5 in Hendringinza. Now, the feeder school to which Hendringinza was, I didn't like it. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But again, purpose. I got home one day to my sister and I said to her, listen, at school now I was doing well at school. So if ever I had applied, I would have been one of the preferred candidates. Now, then I say to her though, when I get home, they're saying at school that there's no more spaces in the school that we should be going to for standard 6, which is your grade 8.
Yeah.
My sister's not asking questions. She goes to now. I wish I could actually explain to you how there would be schools around here because you stay. So I stayed Kwaza Kelenjod. Now there are schools around there.
There are other schools.
And yeah, there are other schools. But then this school that my sister went to is like you have to travel. You have to take a taxi to go there.
Oh.
Right? Now it's called Itembelile. It was called a tech. It's the first school I knew that had white people teaching in the township.
Oh.
So my sister went there because
What made her go there?
that's what I don't know, because she didn't even go. So she went to a school called Iloiso Ezwide for her high school. She didn't even go there because somebody else would have said, oh, maybe let me go to my alma mater. No, she actually went and she was like, okay, she went to this school. No questions. I got in. And listen, was that not the best? Like when I look back, that's one of the things that contributed to where I ended up now. Because that school was the one school that had finance as what did they call the commerce? Yes, so it had commerce, It had motor mechanics. There were like classes that had cars. It was a serious thing. There was drawing. It was that well developed.
Man, it looks like such a small decision, but it changes the trajectory of your life
Man,
entirely.
man.
That happened to me as well,
Uh,
because I remember there's a time where my grandmother wanted all of her grandchildren to come to the rural areas to go to the same school at the village and stuff. And my mom said, heck no,
yeah,
not my kids.
yeah.
I stayed in a school where I met one of the best teachers at the time, and it changed the trajectory of my life entirely. And I look at all my cousins who went to the school that grandma wanted to go to, and not to say anything bad about them, but almost everyone who went to those schools failed.
Because school does more than just educate in the subjects or the modules. It opens your mind, your thinking, your exposure, the things you aspire for. And that's what I got also there.
Yeah, now you're traumatizing me.
But where I'm getting to how then the finance thing started. So then my sister again, she exactly that's where the contrast was. The guys they were saying, oh yeah, no, men should actually be choosing motor mechanic. No, my sister had already because when she was in high school, she did not get to pass matric because of circumstances. But then she knew there what commerce could do. Then she actually advised that I do the same. And I fell in love with accounting from standard six. For sure, later on, I hated accounting, but what I'm trying to get to is it actually shaped because the principles I understand right now are because of that accounting gen.
And that what leads you into working for the taxman.
Because now then I like accounting. Now I didn't know much about what I'm going to do. Again, I'm taking it one step at a time now because of I don't have there's no one who's been educated in my family. I don't know about chartered accountancy. Oh, by the way, my dream when I was young was to be a bank manager because
Nice suit and tie.
no, not even
Why?
that. My idea is the bank's money is my money if I'm managing the bank.
Come on.
Because mine, this is how serious I was about changing my family situation. Do you get my point? All this time, all I'm trying to do, I need to change home.
Work in the bank as a manager.
The man's gonna be there, and I'm not thinking of stealing it. I'm going to be legally getting it. It's my man. But then oh sorry. So in high school, then I learned there's an accounting teacher, who loved me as well. Who later happened to be my cousin. It's a long story again. We find out later. My father was absent all this time because we didn't talk about my father. Later on, we found out because this accounting teacher liked me from standard six, but she was like, "Why are you as if you are repeating accounting? Is your first time doing accounting?" It was my first time doing accounting. So she was, she was flabbergasted and yet at the same time, she loved me. Then standard eight, then we realized her father was brothers with my father. Now this is later on,
Okay.
and anyway, so then she actually whispers in my ear that maybe you should go and study to be a chartered accountant. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. But anyway, when I get to matric, then that was one thing that came to mind when I went to varsity to apply because I didn't know what else to go for.
So that's how that got shaped.
Yeah.
How do you reflect on your father not being there? Do you have a relationship with him now?
He's no longer around. So,
Oh, sorry about
yeah, no, thanks, man. It's a while back, but so I first met him when I was 12. So I think for some people that would have watched some of the story. So I met him when I was 12. Never had an idea of I had a father. It's a very strange idea. Kids actually, I think you
Yeah.
think based on what you've been exposed to. So and then anyway, so saw him when I was 12. Didn't matter much. I looked for him now when I was grown up a little bit more when I was 16 because I think now you're a teenager, you actually
You're
learning
more
more.
curious about
Exactly, no.
what he's all about.
So when I met him, he was diabetic, he was amputated, he was blind, so, but now, so I'm coming in, but now I'm supporting. So I helped him go to church, do all of these things, and all the other stuff. This is me just shortening it. 2000, and I think he passed on 2007. That week he's passing on, I was supposed to start vacation work at a company called PKF Fisher Hoffman in PE, because I was still studying, so I was supposed to go and shadow someone. So I let that go because I needed to assist with the preparation
Attend
for the
to things.
funeral. Yes, so attended to that. That was for closure. So I helped out. So when he passed on, I didn't have that thing of unforgiveness or whatever. I had actually done my part.
So you got your healing.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that part.
Yeah.
The AI didn't dig up this part.
I haven't spoken too much about it as well. Yeah. So but it's part of life. It shows you that I don't think life, kind of waits for you to feel strong before it throws. It keeps throwing, man. You must just keep getting stronger.
Oh, all right. As we close,
Yeah.
I think I'll ask you to put your pastor hat now on, because I discovered fully that the man is a preacher of not. You can drop something. It's a Sunday that we're shooting here. Something to the community, man. I think this episode goes out probably as we cross over to 100K.
Yeah.
Which is a huge milestone for me. But I want it to be a celebration for everyone out there.
Yeah.
In their life, that there is a milestone that's waiting for them, that they're going to hit and feel proud of themselves, hit and feel proud that they started. They're going to hit and feel proud enough to go back and give glory.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage them to start.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of a little, you look at your resources, you look at your circumstances and say, this is too little for me to start. I don't have enough.
Sure.
To that group.
Sure. Now that you've said that, I should put on my pastor's hat. So, Psalm 27. Now, this is off the head, the top of my head. David says, I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Listen, now that scripture, it anchored me for the longest time, because David is known for his triumphant victories, being king, killing Goliath, and all of these other things. But he gets vulnerable with God in this particular point. He says, I would have given in if it was not for believing that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
Not in heaven.
No, exactly. Because some of us defer that hope to see God's goodness to afterlife, yet God wants to show us that goodness here. So, in that, now, hoping to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living keeps you grounded, that you don't go and grab like the Mandilakhe people now.
The corruption.
It teaches you patience, teaches you discipline, teaches you waiting, and be comfortable in uncertainty, but hoping. So now you're making me preach.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But I'm saying so. But what I'm saying in to the people that you say, you might not see what you are working so hard towards coming to fruition. You know, there's a bamboo tree. There's a tree that they call a bamboo tree. I'm sure you know this analogy. I think they say it's grown up in Asia. They say, I think you plant this tree and water it for 5 years, and nothing shows on top of the ground for 5 years. Then after 5 years, in no time, it shoots up, I think, about 12 feet long, or 12 feet tall. Now that talks of persistence, patience, and belief. That there are some things you water so long, people would be laughing at you. Like, what are you doing? Your heart at that particular point is the one that needs to be stronger and grow. You need to have a big heart and a big mind. Because to hold big things, you need capacity. They say tall buildings have deep foundations. You don't go too tall if you didn't go too deep. Let's close it.
The man preached and felt it himself. Yo, I cooked you. Thank you for joining us till this time. This has been touching for me. It's exactly everything I hoped it would be. Let us know what you'd like us to cover. We'll probably do a follow-up on this because what I want to do is a more tactical episode on some of the wealth systems that we found out there for people that build legacy wealth. But otherwise, see you in the next episode and thank you.
Most welcome.